start. So once you have your strap, have that next to you, your belt, and come straight to lie on your back. And as you come to lie, have your knees bent up and your feet on the ground. So take a moment here to, as you lie on your back, to spread the shoulder blades on the ground. Release the back of the hands down and press into your feet a little bit more firmly so you can start releasing into the low back by doing so. And as you lie here on your mat, welcome your awareness onto the body. And notice that structure that holds you, the floor beneath you. And see if you can start softening the muscles in the back of the body towards the floor. Then bring your attention onto the space of the bones, that framework, that structure that holds your body firmly. Feel into the stability of your bones. The large wide bones at the back of the shoulders, your shoulder blades. The bones down through your arms, down through your legs. The big bony structure of your hips. And then notice the contrast of the softness of your breath. The smooth, malleable space of your breath. And let your full awareness land on your breathing for a moment. No need to control it in any way, but see if you can find a rhythm that feels spacious and allows you to ground into this very moment. Our practice this morning will be a practice of grounding, a practice to find stability in the unfamiliar. The breath is always there, support in this space, whether the spaces outside are ever changing. The conditions of the breath allows us to land into this stillness. So when you're ready, go ahead and grab your belt or your strap and line just like you are. Place the belt around the ball of your right foot and start lengthening that foot towards the ceiling. The arms are nice and long, reaching up towards the end of the strap. And the right leg is as long as you possibly can to start it with without changing the quality of the breath. So now here, see if you can move your awareness to the space on the back of your right leg and go into the deep structure of your bones, that length, that stability. And embrace that space with the softness of your breath. Maybe looking towards finding a little bit more space with each out breath. Beautiful. And just notice the space on the back of the right leg. Gentle, fluid breaths. Keeping the leg straight as it is. A micro movement here. We're going to pivot the toes towards the left shoulder. So you make sort of like a 45-degree angle with your foot. Here we're going to target the outside of the right leg, the ITB. And if you want a little bit more sensation, you can start moving the right leg ever so lightly across towards your left shoulder. So it's a nerve-like sensation. It might feel sharp. Let the breath carry this space with softness. And if this stay-home business has kept you visiting the pantry a bit more often than you should, you could be feeling a little bit more around here as we stimulate also the gallbladder channel, which alongside with the liver helps to break the saturated fats and sugars that we consume. So think of this as a nice little release for the digestive system. 2 more deep breaths here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, gently bring the leg back to straight. Push your heel up towards the ceiling a little bit more, and on the exhale, toes in towards your face. Nice. Prepare to release your strap. Place both hands onto your hips and keeping the legs straight as you can, engage the low belly in and up and start lowering the right leg ever so slowly so the lower abs become active here. Beautiful. Then go ahead and lengthen both legs down. Take a stretch up, arms above your head, feet in the opposite direction. Nice. Then go ahead and bend your knees once again, this time placing your belt on the ball of your left foot. Lifting the foot and straightening the leg as best as you can while keeping the back of the shoulders grounded. Reach the hands so the arms are nice and straight. And then go ahead with that scanning of how the structure of the bones feels solid here, containing that space. And the contrast of the breath, moving along and bringing freedom to this space that might be feeling tight this morning. See if you can catch those deep belly breaths rising and falling. Nice. And then start pivoting your toes towards the right shoulder. Looking for a sensation on the outside of the left leg, activating the gallbladder meridian or the energy channel. You might need to move the leg across a little bit more to find a sensation. Play around. Sides can feel quite different. And patiently use the breath as a way to slowly dissipate the discomfort. Sometimes we don't know how tight we are until we start moving. And let the next inhale bring you back to center. Push the heel up a little bit higher, and on the exhale bring toes towards your face. Beautiful. Release the strap. Hands on your hips. Engage the navel in and up and slowly lower the left leg. Activating the abs, the lower abs particularly. Nice. And go ahead and release the right leg long. Take a stretch, arms above your head. Nice long stretch so the spine lifts, the low back lifts off the floor, making a curve on the spine. Beautiful. And then go ahead and place both feet back on the ground, moving a little bit more dynamically, coming into bridge pose. Press your feet on the ground, hands on either side of your feet. Shoulders nicely and spread, chin tucks in. Press into your feet, and on an inhale start peeling your spine up, reaching the hips to the ceiling and unwinding all the way up. Press the knees forward, nice and long through those thigh bones. Exhale, gently release one vertebra at a time back on the floor. And feel that bony connection as you ground stable. Moving with your own breath, press into your feet and hands to lift on the inhale. And once you get to the top, find that lengthening through the thigh bones and also the tailbone. Nice and long, beautiful. Lowering on the exhale. One more at your own tempo. Nice. Once you land, bring both feet to the ceiling, toes in towards your face, heels up, nice and long. Exhale, knees to chest, have a little roll from side to side. Nice. Coming to center, hands to the back of your thighs, and roll forth and back on your spine, massaging the whole of the spine here. Until you come all the way up. Coming up into a seated position, you may like to sit on your blanket or on your cushion. And once you're here, take a moment to find that even as the stem of your sitting bones nice and grounded. Elongating through the top of your head, take an inhale, arms sweeping through the air, lengthening the breath. Exhale down through the heart center. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose, arms up. Exhale out through your mouth now. Beautiful. Releasing your left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm reaches nice and high. Bring the hand behind your head and start moving towards the left side as you move the elbow to the ceiling. So coming into a side bend while peeling the heart upwards, finding all the container of expansion to the sides of the ribs, maybe the top of the hips. And see if you can find the expansion as the breath moves a little bit more freely here. Nice. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, release. Next, inhale, left arm reaches. Rest behind your head, lift the elbow up first, peeling the center of your heart to the side and upwards. Then start finding your side bend. So we want to move away from that structure of rounding forward over our phones, over our little people, and start opening to the sides and also the front of the body. On your next inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Hands on your thighs. We're going to take a few circles here with the torso. So you might like to even close your eyes here. So we really tap into how the spine rolls, the sides of the waist, maybe even the joints down the hips each time you come forward, adding that pressure. And let it come on the other side. Nice and smooth, really exploring the space in between. Good, and then gently coming to center. From here we move straight into an all fours. So if your knees are sensitive, you can still use your cushion under. And as you come into all fours, let's go straight into cat and cow to open up this space in between the vertebrae in the spine. So hands under your shoulders, hips above your knees. Keep the gaze down and bring your awareness to your tailbone. Now, as if moving dominoes, we drop one and everything else moves. So on an inhale, we start lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, and the rest follows as the top of the chest lifts, the gaze forward. Exhale, we round, pushing the tailbone under, rounding the whole spine upwards, the back of the shoulders to the ceiling. Chin tucks in nice and rounded. Beautiful. Move with your breath. Inhale, open and allow that space across the chest to become broader, the tailbone lifting higher. Exhale, tucking the tailbone under and moving the upper part of your spine to the ceiling. Taking 2 more rounds like this, connecting with the space in between each vertebra, and how you can use the breath to move a little bit more fluidly here. Nice. Once you finish your second round, on the exhale, bring yourself down into child's pose, extending the arms forward, the hands down on your mat and the hips towards your heels. Take an inhale through the nose, followed by an exhale out through your mouth. One more time, inhale through your nose, exhale out. Next, inhale, coming up into your all fours, tucking your toes under, lift your knees and your hips up, coming into down dog. Bending one knee at a time here, bringing movement to your dog. Exploring that pattern of solidity in the bones and openness that the breath can bring. And let there be space for exploration. Nice. And then when you're ready, let your dog become still, lowering the heels to the floor while you're pressing deeply into your hands. So the pressure of your hands helps to lengthen up your spine and pushes the tailbone further back. So you really get that connection of lengthening through the spine, but equally pressing the heels down to open the back of the legs a little bit more. Nice deep breaths. Waking up the body. Inhale, bring your gaze in between your hands. And as you exhale, take a couple steps to the top of your mat. Have your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees here and grab hold of your elbows and let your forearms hang loose to the ground. The crown of the head is heavy. And here, if the low back feels sensitive, you can rest your elbows on your knees instead. But just allowing that nice space of gravity to release tightness alongside the spine, but also along the sacrum into your low back. Take one more big breath in through the nose. And let it out through your mouth. Beautiful. Release your hands down to the floor. Keep the knees bent. Start to press your feet a little bit more firmly. And with an inhale, we rise, arms above your head, sweeping towards the ceiling. Exhale down through your heart. Nice. One more time with your breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. Beautiful. Bring your hands to your hips. And here we're going to come into chair pose, engaging a little bit more of the glutes. So bend your knees here and imagine you're coming into your imaginary chair, sitting back. And here, notice how the glutes switch on, the thighs switch on straight away. See if you can bring more awareness onto the glutes, letting a bit more of the weight come off your thighs. There to maybe lift your toes off the floor, engaging a little bit more balance. The chest is nice and broad, the navel is in and up, lengthening through the core. If it's okay, on the shoulders, you can have the arms upwards in a 90-degree angle. Nice and wide through the chest, opposed to bring strength, stability, and glutes of steel. One more big breath. Exhale out. Next, inhale, press into your feet, reach up, lengthen Legs, exhale down through your heart. Beautiful, floating on an inhale, arms up. This time exhale down through the midline all the way to the floor. You can bend the knees here as much as you need. Release the hands wherever they fall and let the weight of the head be heavy. Bring a little bounce into your knees. On an inhale, slide your hands to your shins, coming to a half lift. Crown extends forward, sitting bones back, nice and long. Exhale, lower. Bounce into your knees and on an inhale, rise. Exhale down through the midline. Come straight into a balance from here, bringing your weight onto your left leg. Start lifting the right one. We're going to make a 4 shape with that right leg. So it's different to 3 when we have it on the inside. We're going to have the shin to the front. Yeah, so start bending the standing leg a little bit more. Hands on the hips. Find that brave smile so you can hold here. And do your best to start opening the right leg as much as you can so we access the outer line that we're doing on the floor just before this strap. And here you can have the hands on your hips or maybe in prayer. And maybe lowering a little bit more, maybe staying high. We're finding familiarity on unstable grounds. And we learn to trust. Deep breaths. Good job, everyone. Next inhale, rise up. Release the leg, give the leg a little shake, the arms, the face. Shake it off. Good. Take an inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive down, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Little bounce on the knees, inhale, rise, arms up. Exhale down through your heart. Pause here and feel the stability of both feet, both legs. Trusting into that space. Connecting more deeply with your right foot. Release your hands and start bringing a bend onto the right leg as you make that 4 shape with your left. Notice that this one might not go as far as the other one, that's fine. Hands on the hips will help with extra balance. And from here, see the depth that feels right on this side. Lowering a little bit more or staying up high. Again, targeting the left outer thigh. I love how the doggies are loving the yoga. So cute. Beautiful. You might like to change the position of your hands. Staying with the breath. Gorgeous, good work, everyone. Next inhale, come all the way up. Let go of the legs, let go of the arms, let go of the shoulders and the face. Nice one. Coming to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down through the midline, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold hands to the floor, step the right foot back, followed by the left. Plank pose, nice and strong through the core. Widen your collarbones here. Feel that strength coming from your belly button, but also feel that support under your hands, under your feet. Knees can come down if that feels best for you this morning. One more wide breath. Exhale, everyone, lowering the knees to the ground and lower your chest, chin, belly to the floor. Inhale, extend your heart forward, baby cobra. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, bringing the torso up, all fours. Tucking the toes under, lift up, down dog, nice and steady. Land in your mountain shape like pose, feeling that stability on the hands and the feet. Take a big breath in through the nose and a long breath out through your nose. One more. Beautiful. Next inhale, bring your gaze forward and take a walk to the top of your mat. Feet are hip width. Take an inhale, rise, arms above your head. Exhale, lower through your heart, out through your mouth. One more time. Each time we land on the exhale, we are here. Let it go. Beautiful. Release the arms, stepping your right foot back, the left foot forward for warrior two. So we find a 45-degree angle on the back foot and the front knee is bent. And now here the torso moves over to the right side of your mat. The arms extend parallel to the floor. And it might feel okay to keep your gaze to the side or to the front fingers. Notice the structure, the body structure that holds you steady and still here. And the malleability that comes rising from your belly with the breath. While we trust that we are held strong and supported, we also know that there is room to contract or expand via the breath. We learn to manipulate this powerful tool of the breath in our favor to create a space of relaxation by letting go on the exhale, or by bringing more energy into the body by inhaling more deeply. Beautiful. Release your back hand on your leg. Release the front leg straight. On the next inhale, flip your front palm and reach the left arm all the way up, elongating out to the side. And let this space be the malleable part of your pose, that space in which you can experience more movement. Even if it's just the movement of the breath, feeling freedom on the left side of the torso. Beautiful. Next inhale, return the arm down. As you bend the front knee, we rest the left forearm on the left thigh and swing the right arm all the way forward. Remember the act of lifting the center of the chest to the ceiling. We're swinging it around so we can open the front of the chest also. Press back into the outside of the right foot a little bit more firmly so we keep the contact with the area of stability and create leverage to open a little bit more widely here. Beautiful. Next inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release the front leg. Coming straight into Trikonasana, we're gonna widen the arms, nice and long. Feel the opening coming across your chest. The front knee can have a little bounce here. Feel that you're reaching for that snack in your fridge, going all the way forward with the left hand. So the torso moves forward as far as you possibly can. Then let the hand drop on your shin, on your thigh, and move the right arm across towards the ceiling. Peel the center of your chest up as best as you can. Where did the breath go? Stay with it. Beautiful. Next inhale, prepare to rise. As you rise, bend your front knee. Release the arm and flip all the way back into your reverse warrior. A counter pose for the other side. Good. I bet you're all feeling a little bit warmer by now. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring both hands to the sides of your front foot. Lift the back heel off the floor. Now we're gonna have the right knee on the ground. The left knee will follow. Bring the knees nice and wide on the floor, big toes together. Push the hips back. Child's pose, arms can be forward or down. Take a moment to land into this grounding and supported pose. Take a big breath into the nose. Let it out through your mouth. One more time. Exploring the solidity of this space. And the quality that rest can bring after the movement. Beautiful. On your next inhale, prepare to come up, back into your all fours. Bringing knees to under your hips. And take a couple of hip circles here from side to side, maybe involving the torso here, and let that stagnancy from the hips to move dynamically with the breath. Moving to both directions. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming into the steadiness of your all fours, gaze down, tuck your toes under, lift the knees and the hips down, dog. It may feel nice to have a little walk and a little wiggle in your dog from side to side here. Take your time to explore this moment. And when you find space for stillness, press into your hands, lengthening the spine a little bit more, all the way up to your tailbone. And on the opposite direction, heels reaching down, opening the channels in the back of the legs a little bit more widely. Beautiful. Next inhale, please look forward and take a walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Little bounce into your knees. Inhale, spring up. Exhale, hands down through your heart. We're gonna do it one more time, landing on the exhale out through the mouth. Inhale up. Nice and slow if you can. Exhale, let it out. Notice that support of your breath on the background. As we bring movement, sometimes we tend to lose that connection with that background force that holds us. But the more you can tap into that rising and supporting tool, the more on and off the mat we can find a space of stability. Let's play with the second side. Coming into Warrior Two, release your hands and step your left foot back. 45-degree angle, and the front knee bends as much as you possibly can. Finding an opening across the hips. Bringing the torso to face the left side, and the arms splay wide, extending from the center of your chest. Beautiful. And then the gaze can be out to one side or maybe to the front middle finger. Let that support of the structure of your bones hold you steady as you press into the back foot as much as the front foot. The widening through the arms. And the wave-like motion of the breath in the background, making everything a little bit more pliable. Good job, everyone. Lengthening the back hand on your leg, releasing the front leg long, flipping the front palm, and on the next inhale, reach the right arm up. A little bit more space for freedom on the right side of the chest and the hips, the ribs, finding a little bit more space. Let your breath permeate into those new spaces. Beautiful. As you exhale, bend through the front knee, left forearm onto your thigh and swing the back hand forward, finding a side angle. And do your best to keep the left chest up so the center of the heart still nice and wide. Beautiful, everyone. Breath moving across all directions. Inhale, coming up, release the top arm, releasing the front leg nice and long. Steady through the spine. Inhale, arms reach out to the side, triangle pose. Reach with that right hand for that treat in the pantry, in the fridge, whatever you're going for. Once you can't reach any further, release the hand down to the thigh or the shin and spin your heart to the ceiling as you reach the left hand to the same direction. Nice and long lines of structure holding you steady, but the quality of the breath brings that buoyancy and space for freedom. So whether you've gone too far, maybe bring the hand further up or lengthen the exhales here. Nice and long here. That's it. Beautiful. Next, inhale, release the top arm, bend the front knee, return into your reverse warrior. Nice and free, ability to move and express yourself in a way that feels nourishing and delicious to your body this morning. Beautiful. Next, inhale, coming all the way up, releasing the front leg. Hands to either side of your front foot. Lift the back foot off the floor. Lower your back knee. Let the right knee come all the way back. Big toes together, knees out and wide. Push the hips back. Now make a little pillow with your hands under your forearm. You can even make fists, so the forehead is nice and supported in your child's pose. 3 big, long, descending breaths out here. Grounding in the stability of this moment. Letting go of the need of control or do anything as you simply observe what is here now. The spirit we're going through brings us a gift of time, a lot of extra time we might have in our hands to consider what's important for us, what we want to nourish and value. And while the distractions of the outer world become a little bit more limited, this brings an opportunity to go a little bit more deeply inwards and really answer those questions with honesty. On your next inhale, prepare to come back up. Bring your knees to under your hips, and this time lifting the hips high, come straight back into stillness in your down dog. A known structure, a space that the body knows how to get to and the mind can instantly land into. Next inhale, bring your gaze forward and take a walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold, nice and light, soft. One more time, playing with lightness. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, drop like a rag doll. Inhale, press into your knees a little bit. Bend into your knees a little bit more deeply. Press into your feet a little bit more. Rise strong all the way up. Feel the ascending. And let it drop with an exhale out through your mouth. the contrast of doing and being. That sweet blend of finding presence while you're doing. Coming out to the long edge of your mat. We're gonna bring the coming to goddess pose. So the heels are in, the toes are out. And we'll bend the knees. And watch that the knees are coming into the same direction as the toes. So the tendency is to have the knees wick in. We want to engage the inner thighs, the groins, and really open that. It doesn't need to go too deep, but nice and engaged. So move dynamically from here. On an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms to the ceiling, lengthen the legs, and make it as slow as you possibly can, traveling through air. Exhale, hands down, bend the knees, tailbone down, hands on the thighs. 2 more times. Inhale, sweeping through the air. Nice and steady, blending the softness of the breath and the steadiness of your bones. Beautiful. 1 more time. Keep the breath going. 20 more rounds here. You can't do anything, you're far away. I'm kidding. 1 more nice deep breath. Exhale, let go of the legs, extend the arms nice and wide, making an X shape, extending through all directions. Maybe the chest wants to lift, that sense of expansion from within. Exhale, let the arms drop. Beautiful. We're gonna link this same movements with lion's breath. So, guided by that teaching I shared with you this week on Facebook. So basically, lion's breath, you inhale through your nose. You exhale with the sound through your mouth. And as you open your mouth to breathe out this way, the tongue pops out and the gaze comes to the tip of your nose. A bit like the haka in New Zealand. So I'll show you once and then I'll do it 3 times together. So we take an inhale with the, starting our goddess first. So nice and steady through your feet. We take an inhale, lengthen the arms all the way up to the sides of the chest. As we exhale, the knees bend, the arms extend out through your mouth, tongue out. Clearing the throat, clearing the space of the mind. So don't think about how you look like. I can hardly see your faces. So it's more about finding that space to release anything that might be holding stuck in your throat or in your mind. All right, so 3 times together. Bending to your knees, coming into goddess, nice and steady through your groins here. Take an inhale, nice and slow through the chest. Let it out. Good work. 1 more time. Fingers wide, tongue pops out. Last one, make it good. Nice, release the legs. Come all the way up and take a couple seconds to distill the fats. Anything that might be happening in the background for you. And then toe heel your feet back together. Take an inhale, arms up. Exhale down through your midline. Good work. Hands to your hips. Toes out, heels in. Malasana yogic squat. Keep your tailbone under as much as you can so the spine is nice and long. Preparing to descend here. We lower. Same thing, knees out to to the same line of the toes, and we lower as much as we can. We can stay up high. If the hip structure allows, you can come all the way out and down, and maybe if you have spacing between your knees, use your elbows as leverage to open a little bit more widely. Think of those wide collarbones to the center of the room. And tap into the structure of your bones here, the solidity of this space, widening out through the hips, and then lengthening up to the spine. Remember how the breath caresses the body with a space of kindness and softness. And use that tool to ground a little bit more. On your next exhale, prepare to release all the way down. Release your legs nice and long. Give them a little shake. And feel nice to lengthen the legs after having the knees bent for so long. Beautiful. So we've opened quite a bit down to the back of the legs and the sides of the torso, so we can more freely come into the next pose. So before we come into that, let's all bring the knees into a bend. The thighs as close to your chest as you can, so you can hug your knees and lengthen your spine. And just take a couple breaths here, finding that solidity and stability of this space. The belly pressing against the thighs in the inhale. And the spine lengthening. Turning that awareness inwards onto how it feels. Beautiful. And when you're ready, prepare to extend your right leg long. The left knee drops over into one side. So if you're someone whose left knee that floats in the air and that doesn't feel comfortable, you can add a cushion or any kind of support. But it's okay to have that hanging in the air. You don't need to have that down. So come onto this angle, you can see me better. From here, you might like to have that belt handy. We're gonna bring both hands to frame the right knee, and as you do so, gently move the center of your heart to come a little bit closer to the center of your right knee. We'll move dynamically 3 times before we hold. So you take an inhale, reach your arms nice and long, spine lengthens. Exhale like a wave, reach your heart towards your knees, hands forward. Beautiful, twice more with your breath. Right heel nice and grounded. Once you land on your third out breath, let the weight of the head drop. Now here's the point where you may like to use your strap to find a little bit more lengthening. But equally, if that feels too much on the back of the leg, you can bend the knee a little bit and rather work on the lengthening of your spine. Now here, see if you can find more connection with the space of the exhales. Letting go a little bit more deeply with each exhale. One more long deep breath in, followed by a releasing breath out. Releasing your strap if you have one, hands down to either side of your leg, and gently push yourself back up, spine nice and long. Bring yourself to the front of the mat. Give both knees a little squeeze into your chest and find that evenness of your spine upwards once again, that familiar space to land. Exhales, grounding you more deeply. Go ahead and extend your left leg long. The right knee drops out into one side. You can find that support under the right knee if you need. Otherwise, when you're ready, the hands come to either side of your front leg and tilt your torso ever so slightly so the center of your chest is in line with your knee. Moving with a wave-like motion. The inhale reaches up 3 times like so. Exhale, forward, heart to knee. Reaching forward. Use your own tempo in your breath. Once you land the 3rd time, release the hands wherever they fall. Let the weight of the head drop a little bit more heavily. You might want to bend that knee a little bit if the sensations are too strong, particularly if there's any sharpness, or you may like to even grab your belt or your strap to lengthen the spine a little bit more. Do your best to catch the softness of your exhales here to find more lengthening and release. One more deep, slow breath in, followed by a releasing breath out. Beautiful, releasing your strap and hands to either side, pressing into the floor. Bring it all the way up, knees back, pressing against your chest, nice and long through the spine. Open your chest a little bit more widely forward. Beautiful. And then gently let the legs go straight, dropping down on your mat. Lying on your back, bring knees to chest and hands on your knees. Have a little roll from side to side, making circles with the knees towards the ceiling, massaging the low back, both directions. Nice, and then landing your feet as wide as your mat, so the feet are quite wide here. We're gonna swing the knees to the right side and then to the left side, letting them drop naturally from side to side. Nice and slowly. Once the knees drop over to the right side, let them stay here for a while. You might like to incorporate the arms above your head, grabbing hold of your left wrist and bringing it across to the right side, resting on the ground, nice and held. Beautiful. Release your arms. Bring the knees back to center and let them sway onto the left side. Let them drop over. And choose maybe to grab hold of the right wrist on the floor, making a C shape with your upper body as you bring the arms across to the left. And just explore that space with the breath. Beautiful, releasing your arms down and bring the legs back to center, knees back up. Take another squeeze of the knees towards your chest. Maybe a little roll from side to side. And then press your hands down to the floor. Take an inhale and lift your legs high. Let them be nice and still to a point in which your thighs are not engaged, your belly is soft, and the stability of your bones can hold you. The breath is that song in the background reminding you of the present moment and your innate capability of letting go. With each exhale, dropping a little bit more softly. Gently bend at the knees and let the feet land on the floor. Beautiful, and from here spread yourself long on the mat, preparing for Shavasana, or final relaxation in stillness. So as you come to lie flat on your mat, spread the shoulder blades wide, the chin tucks in slightly, and palm of the hands flip up so the shoulder sockets can release down. The moment in which we return back into the essence of human being rather than human doing. A space in which we can fully be here, aware of what unravels under the skin, and enjoy stillness for a moment. Let your awareness float back to your breathing and to the spaces it occupies in your body. Taking a long stretch out on the mat, arms above your head and feet in the opposite direction. Maybe a little yawn, maybe a little smile. Go ahead and bring knees to chest, have a nice little hug, holding yourself fully, embracing a moment of acknowledgement for this time for yourself and the ever so subtle shifts that might have happened for you in this last 16 minutes. Roll over into one side. And keeping the eyes closed or downcast, slowly make your way into a comfortable seat. As you come to sit up, land on the solidity of your legs, the structure of your spine, nice and tall. Widening alongside the tops of your shoulders and release them down. Notice the contrast of the flowing breath in the background. A safe space for you to land when it all feels a bit too much. When the outside world feels out of control, the best way we can respond is choosing how we wish to respond, or maybe not even respond to it, but knowing that despite feeling a little bit unable to control the situations right now, we still have the control and the ability to respond from this space of stability. Bringing hands into prayer in front of your chest. Let your heart lift towards your thumb. And bring to mind one special gift. It can be something that happened to you, it can be someone you love. And send that person, that place, that space with gratitude. Acknowledging the gift and the joy it brings to your life.